Very good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Welcome to 4 p.m. One of my better marketing ideas. 4 p.m. says what time it is. It says what it's about. And even if you don't no idea what's going on, you come because of the big sign that said 4 p.m. So 4 p.m. is the time where the curtain goes up. We play that little piece, which was not today's piece. If you don't know what that means, that's okay. I write a new piece each day, so every day is a brand new piece. That was from day 195, and today represents day 375. So that's how many days I've been here in the museum writing a new piece each day. At this moment, the musicians are now looking at the piece. They haven't played it yet. I haven't heard it out of my head. Sounds different in my head to what it sounds here. So we're all going to hear today's piece at the same time. Now, the musicians are very good. But we'll do a better job if we do this thing called a rehearsal. We'll stop and start a bit. And you'll hear everything we do, which means you can ask questions. We'll have a Q&A and stuff if that's interesting to you. I want to show you all the nuts and bolts. I want to show you the engine, the cogs and the wheels that make these things happen. Because I think it's, even though I do it all the time, still think it's a fascinating thing to see a rehearsal. Because you don't normally see that, do you? You normally just go to the show and you pay your ticket to bypass all of this shit. But you're going to see it today and you're welcome. What 4 p.m. is about is a discussion of the process of creativity, the making of stuff, and just showing up as opposed to thinking, I'll only show up to, in my case, it's music. For you, it might be poetry or painting or dancing or whatever your thing is. If you think you have to show up only when you've got like the perfect idea, the correct idea, the good idea, you might only show up 4 or 5 times a year. But then you get really anxious because you go, I really like to be creative with painting or whatever your thing is. Why don't I do it more often? I don't do it more often because I don't have a great idea. My idea is that's horse shit. Just show up anyway. Like, that's my provocation for 4 p.m. I just show up. I don't have an idea. I just show up. Some days make dribble. Other days it's okay. Let's find out what today's going to be like. And the ensemble to make it live for you today is Jiwon, Hayato, Anna, and Nick. Right, so I'll come back to you we'll have some questions and have a drink. There's a bar around the corner and pizzas and get comfortable and think about what you might want to ask, not only if you see or hear something that you don't understand, but what maybe you've always wanted to ask a musician something, or you're curious about creativity. Here we go. Day 375, and I thought we wouldn't make 50.
Wow.
I know. Yeah, I know, right? Wow, Jesus. Right, okay. We'll start nice there. We'll see if we can get as brisk as we can. So there's a few. Oh, I want to tell you. There's a few little melodies in here. Just dee da 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 da. Which you'll forget. It's okay. It's not important. But I stole it from yesterday. Bee ba 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 ba. And as a piece, I suspect today will have a very unsatisfactory ending, because I got to the ending and I thought, because I borrowed that little dee ba 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 ba. I think maybe if you think of like a traditional string quartet in the way those old dead people composed them, there's always like a middle movement, which doesn't have to have a kind of a bum ba ba da bum 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 ending, because it's in the middle. It's not supposed to. It's meant to be a chapter, if you like. So that's why I ended it. So it's very unsatisfactory. Hence, we might play yesterday's as well if we get time, which is a nice kind of mushy, slow thing with a story. I'll tell you the story later. Okay, here we go. Starts with viola for a bar. relaxed here. So, cello. They're sight reading this. I've never seen it before. Cello, 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 cello. Hold there. Hey, wait, hold there. Very good. Okay, that was sight read. Very good. Very good. Okay, good. So in the start of try and keep your ears out for where, like, it's not like they're handing a ball, a hot ball. Who's got the line? 'Cause sometimes bar by bar, you know, every count of 4, it changes. Who's got the important line at the time? That's what I spend some of my time thinking about. And then if, you know, like this, let's just say this piece is a piece of shit and we never play it again. I've spent a whole lot of time trying to juggle the balls between them, and then we go, oh, what a waste of a day. But I think that's okay if you just show up at your tools and show up and get better. I think I'm getting better at something. I don't know what that is. All good there? Yes? Great. So at C, just a little bit relaxed. Yeah, you've got lots of lines, but it's nice and kind of in the background, textural. Be a little bit the first 3 bars of C, second violin. You can bring that one out, and nice and chuggy in the viola there, and then cello text over. Should we go from the top again? Sure. Great. Just up a click more. 1, 2, E. Cello. Here we go. There it is. There's the melody. Do this again. Oops, gone. We're together. Oh, that's from yesterday. Very cute. Very rewarding. Oh, yeah, okay. Wait, that was going well so far. Going well so far. If you don't understand what's going on, it's fine. You don't have to. I'm sure if you're a painter, I don't know what you do either. The mysticism of a skill you don't have is always compelling, but don't let the mysticism of a skill you don't have let you be anxious that you're also not very good at your skill. I think that's a fair call. You get better at what you do more often. If you do something a lot, you get better at that. Maybe for me it's music. Maybe for you it's driving a manual. Maybe for someone else it's being an asshole. You know, whatever you do better more of. All good? I changed key on this fucking thing so many times today. I changed sharps to flats, sharps to flats, sharps to flats so many times. Probably most of the day was doing that. And I just couldn't make up. And I thought, fuck, if I just put all the flats in the key signature and let you figure it out. God damn. Okay, all good. Any problems there? All good. All good? Okay. Should we keep going from H? Or let's go again from into F. No, E, letter E. And then I'll see if you have any questions. Okay. 1, 2, E. Cool. So I want to look at this one bit again. I want to look at the H bit again because it's like little random like bits. Everyone's passing a thing backwards and forwards. Let's have a go at H again. Into H. We have 3 and 4, and you got the crotchet. 1, 2, 3. Good hold there. So yes, I did give you a siren. So it's like the kids love that shit. Any questions? Can we try that again? Yes.
Yes, at I.
At I.
How's when I instinctively did a little accent just to set the tempo again?
Great idea.
Is that a good idea?
Great idea.
It comes 2 before J, 3 before J as well, I think. Yeah, those crotchets.
Oh, so, an accent at I or 2 after J? 2 after I, no?
Both.
Oh,
no, just at I.
Just at I, okay, little accent there. B, ba. Yep. Good. And then 2, yes, 3 before J, got it. Great, good. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Anybody curious? If you don't understand anything that's going on, it's okay. You can ask. Who hasn't wanted to talk to a cellist? Come on, who's always wanted to ask a cellist? Who wants to ask the violinist how heavy a violin is? Yes, you want to ask the violinist how heavy it is? Oh, but, okay, forget it. Yes? 375? At day 100, you say? Specifically 100? Do you know something? You in on the story? Fuck. That's a very particular question, actually. Like, if you had have said, is it easier now than day 1? That's a fairly general question. But easier now to day 100's digging down. I think you've read the book. Fuck you. All right. Yeah. Wow. So, look, tricky. The art of showing up to a thing is getting easier. The art of that kind of, like the mandala, you make it, then you blow it up, let the wind blow it away, is getting easier. Letting go of a thing. If I write a piece of work and it's just complete crap, oh well, whatever. I'll have a go again tomorrow. And I think my skill at the page is getting better. If you listen to day 1, you go, wow, that's pretty high school by comparison, I think. It's not meant for me to say what my own quality's like, but I've got better at doing it. So this here is my diaries. This is the first 150 days of my diaries. There's the day 111, day 112. So I would write the piece, we'd play it, shut the door, and then I'd write a diary. So I published those. At day 100, I was pretty close to a nervous breakdown, actually. A complete and utter wailing on the kitchen floor, lost my shit breakdown. Because I hadn't done this before. When this started, I'd never actually written a piece for string quartet in a day before. I pitched it and motorboarded it, and I went, fuck. Now I have to do it. Anyway, it was a bold move. But it's interesting getting used to showing up and doing a thing in a very particular time frame. I'm really good at 10 to 4. Really good. Right now I'm going crazy just longing for 10 till 8. I could do some better stuff if I had another few hours, but I can't because I'm locked into this. So there's a rub to it as well as the freedom of doing more stuff. I'm gifted with the string quartet every day. Lucky me, you probably don't have that in your lounge room 4 days a week, but I do. So that's kind of fun. And so I show up because it's a deep privilege to do that, that's for sure. But it is very hard because there's a lot to mine. There's a lot to come up with every day. But I think when I started it, it was all about what happens when the artist empties the tank. It was all the vanity of watch me burn, watch me explode or implode, which was just rubbishy vanity stuff. It was a terrible idea. What I've realised that there is no empty tank. There's no empty tank. The only thing when you're empty, which you might call a writer's block, is when you die, because then there's nothing going on. For me, it's just, I rock up some mornings and my only idea is, I think of a parsnip that grew a nose. Fuck, that's a shit idea. Anyway, off I go. Anyway, it's like, it's that simple, and it's just start with a shit idea and hopefully it gets better during the day. So it's the courage to do something when you don't think you've got the good idea. That's what's kind of easy and hard depending on how deep the hangover is. Yeah, that's a long answer to a question. And over here, and we'll keep going. Why don't I start at 8? No. I'm asleep at 8 o'clock. Good suggestion. I'll put it in the suggestion box. That man's stupid. Ease up, eh? All right, let's go. Where'd we get to? Got to J? JK. Cool, let's go from H again. H. Sorry, you're not stupid. Your idea was. I won't be taking it on. Yeah. From H. 1, 2, 3. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Here we go. To that second violin. Cello. There's that melody again. Ding, one, bang, everyone's on 2.
Sorry.
Ding, yeah. Is that enough time?
Huh?
Is that enough time? Yeah, cool. Okay.
We'll just follow you.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, so we're losing a bit of tempo in the R section where we're passing the ball around, losing a bit of tempo, so make sure everyone's on the front foot there.
I've got a question.
Yes.
So at Q,
At Q.
it's a general question. Have you been specific with whether you want legato
L-O-E-Q.
versus like...
I have been specific. Yes, D, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Yes, I have. Da-da-da-da, and yes.
Okay, and that's just a general.
Absolutely, I've been through those semiquavers.
Okay.
Yep, so
My
yes.
next question is, I've got
That was a slur question, whether they do it in one bow or go da-da-da-da with different
Oh, I
bows,
see.
which sounds very different. That was a good question. Yes.
at T,
T?
you've given me pits, and then pits again in the last bar.
Oh, yeah.
But
Ah,
and
yes.
into arco
I'm in arco.
before W?
It's all. You're just pits from, yeah, all the way through. Sorry. Yeah.
Sorry.
I was just making that clear to everyone. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, because we did the same thing before.
So yeah, everyone's pits at. Pits means pluck with your fingers as opposed to bow. Everyone's pits at. 2 viola, a T, and then V sub to bow. Yes, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Good? Okay, they've got the pencils out, they're making notes. Should we give it a crack from the top?
Yeah.
All right, we'll give it a crack from the top.
So do you want to give us the end tempo of what you're...
Beep. From the whole piece?
From the beginning, yeah.
Right there. Yeah. Beep. Yep. Fast enough? Right there? All right, so we're going to give it a go now all the way through. So now we'll get to know it as a piece. Any questions or queries before we do that? Yes. So is the question about how easy it is for them to do this, or are you nervous about not having seen the piece before?
You get used to
Little bit.
turning up and doing this. I was nervous when I first started, but now I'm comfortable with sight reading in front of people. But
Yeah, I mean, these guys are professional sight readers. They're like Taz Symphony players, so they do it for a living.
stop.
But they don't normally do it in front of people. That's the rub for them. They normally do it behind a closed door, and you pay money for them to be looking all made up and looking great. I mean, sorry, you look great now. Sorry, I understand. So it's unusual for them. But if I wanted to perform this tonight to a paid audience, we'd spend more time than now rehearsing on it. So it's a truncated thing because we obviously have to get it done. Play today's, play yesterday's, and you've got a ferry to catch, so we have to get it all done. And I think it's great for me because I don't play any of those instruments, so there's only so much I can tell them. There's actually not that much information on the page. For me, the dots on the page don't sound as expressive as what they're doing because they can intuit what to do. And so that's the ability of the musicians to not just read the little black dots, but to know when to pull it, to push it, to fade away. Who's got the lead? That's what they're writing with pencils. Who's got the lead? I should duck in behind them. My turn now to come out the front. I put some of that information on the page, but mostly they just figure it out. Not every day. Same 4 instruments, not the same 4 people. Yeah.
You've got a
All
lovely
right.
fade in
And
there.
one more question. Oh, 2 more questions. Yes.
I remember where the last page somewhere. Got a lovely fade, I think.
Fade out.
I have degrees at the uni, at the con, singing as a singer, as a contemporary singer. Sometimes I leave here and go play double bass playing swing tunes or grab a guitar and play Beatles tunes. So I spent 20 years in pubs playing guitar and drums and stuff, so that's my background. I did a recital for my master's degree with a string quartet, doing a work by Elvis Costello and the Brodsky Quartet called the Juliet Letters. Please check that out. It's an incredible work if you want a true bridge between this sound and contemporary song. That's the album. I went, fucking hell, string quartet? Guitars can't do that. And so I just got interested in writing. So I got rid of the band eventually, and I was sung with the string quartet. And then eventually, my favourite thing is that now I can be out here, and it's not about me. I love it that I'm not the one sweating it out. It's about them. I can write the dots, and they can do it. So I've moved into composition because I don't want to lug drums out of pubs when I'm 60. That's mostly why. So it was just a natural thing. Probably the only thing I've really hungered for is to write, as opposed to play guitar in pubs.
I was just going to say, back to your original experiment, I think this has really taken off and you need to train 6 people to do what you're doing in different places around the world.
Yes.
If you had them together, what would you say to those 6 people about?
Oh.
That's a good question. No one's ever asked that
Oh, yeah, I
before.
haven't heard that
If this was a franchise and there were 6 people around the world who were doing this in different museums, and we had all those 6 people together, what would I say to them? I'd say, fucking good luck, mate. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. It really is tough because showing up every day is not everyone's stuff. I've had composers, really reputable composers, who've come here and gone, can I be next? Like, this is great. And they sit there and they watch it, and then in the end they go, that was great, but fuck that, I'm not doing that. No way, because I can't talk to a crowd, or I can't do anything in front of people, or I can't show up every day and do something new. You kidding? I'll work on 30 seconds of music for a week. It'll be perfect. As opposed to just throwing paint at a wall That's the difference. So it's finding that the 6 people that I chose for the franchise would be people who'd be comfortable throwing paint and really comfortable doing it, and then spending the afternoon getting themselves out of the corner they've painted themselves into, talk to the crowd, and then encourage people to do the same thing. Because our education, all of us here, us, our parents, our grandparents have been industrial aged educated, which means we were all put through the same little hole, and in order to be taught like that, they had to stigmatise mistakes. It's the only way to get a square thing through a round hole, is to stigmatise square, the mistakes of being square. Fuck it, you've got to go through a round hole or you don't get your degree. And as a consequence of that, you don't get married, you don't get to be happy, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so we're all a bit shit now, and we're all afraid of making mistakes because of that. So that's the chat I'd have. That's the chat I'd have. And not only to be that, but also find a way to communicate that without swearing so much. Sorry, I swear a lot. I am, well, a little bit match fit, yeah, although I've got a month to go in this. I'm like, you know, how the battery never fully recharges anymore? Yeah, that's, yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I finish in mid-September. Don't call me until December. Just don't. One piece, yeah. So I think accumulatively there's over 24 hours of continuous music now if you put them all together. The only person who's actually taken any care to watch that is this live stream on this camera here, my mum. She's the only one. She's the only one who's listened to everything. I haven't even played some of my own days back to myself going, that was awful, I never want to hear that again. But Mum has. Right, okay, so thank you very much for being here. We'll play it all the way through. You might want to chop off before you hear it again or before we play yesterday's piece, but thanks for being here. And for reasons that I cannot explain, which is about the showing up and throwing paint at the wall, I can't explain it because some days it is good. It's really good, and everyone goes, good one. And they go, I don't know, was the sun in the moon and the stars, and maybe we'd drunk whiskey and not wine. I don't know what the formula is, but some days it's good. And they're the days that we went back and recorded an album. There's 2 volumes of those. So, you know, there's a bunch of days there, all the way back to day 13, to day 104, so if you want to sort of take a memento home, you can do that as a download or a CD. And of course, there's the book of my diaries too, as a contribution to what creativity is about and how important it is. Anyway, there we go. Let's give it a go. Day 375. G1, Hayato, Anna, Nick. All right, now we'll let that one sink into our brains. You're welcome, welcome. Thank you very much. Should give yesterday's a go. It's an easier read. Yesterday's had some mushy bits. I thought yesterday's was a lovely story about unrequited love. That's what I was imagining. And these people who look at each other across the room, maybe they're both, you know, in other relationships or something or other. And in the middle there's a waltz. They go to the ball. You don't need to run to the ferry just yet in case anyone's panicking. You've got another 10, 15 minutes before you need to panic. Unless you want to shop or see vaginas, that's fine. But you can stay. There's a table here at the front. If you'd like to come forward and hear the sound better, please come forward. So yesterday, yes, unrequited love. Then they go to the waltz and there's a ball and you can music that they see each other across the room and wink and all that stuff. And then eventually it goes back to shmushy and I don't know what happens at the end. You can decide. 374. Oh, hang on. I'll get up for these people here. Hang on. 374. Here it is.
Do you ever run out of storage?
What's that?
Do you ever run out of storage?
Do I run out of storage? No, that'd be. Oh, if I can say one thing about today, no, God, don't say that. Before we go into the waltz at H, the last two bars before H, a bit rubato. Take your time because the upbeat and one is in cello with pits. So you can almost like just hold that G and wait for it to go and one into H. Okay, here's yesterday's piece. This was day 374. D. Good. We got out. Hold on. Bar before E. Bar before E. He. F. G1, Hayato, Anna, Nick. There you go. So that little dee da 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 da. I could pluck that out of yesterday's and let's see if it works again. Should we give what today's only a 3-minute piece and they got plenty of time to get to the ferry. Let's go today's again one more time and then the people will run away like they've stolen something. Maybe they'll buy a book. Any questions? Anybody curious? No? Here we go. Here we go.
Yeah, I took that way too fast. Oh, my
Listen out for that.
No, it's good.
Dee da da ba 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 ba. All right.
maybe not you.
Don't do that thing before 8.
Yeah.
Just before 8.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And 1, 2, 3. There it is. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hayato. Thank you, G1. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Nick. And thank you for being here. My name is Dean. That's 4 p.m. for today. Safe travels. Bye-bye.